and welcome back to Come Geek Some. If you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe for all future content. Well, we have a Mr. Greg Doucette video today for everyone, and it's quite an interesting one. And this is coming from Cheshire Black. And here we have it, folks. Greg Douchebag once again trying to say that Vic doesn't have a chance in hell of winning any kind of appeal. Keep acting like the smug little jackass you are. Hashtag I stand with Vic, and then he's tagged us in. And in this actual tweet, someone was messaging Greg and they said, "There seems to be a popular consensus that Ty will win on appeals. Care to share why that's impossible?" And Greg Doucette came back with, "Covered it in yesterday's podcast. Vic has a 0.00% chance to win on appeal, and anyone thinking otherwise doesn't understand how appeals work." Well, with that, in this actual podcast, we've had someone who's listened to it, and this is what they had to say. He never even explained how we'd lose the appeal, though I highly doubt he can come up with one. So with that just goes to show that Greg is only there straight away saying, oh, he's going to lose an appeal. And he hasn't given anything. He hasn't given him any excuses. He hasn't given any explanation onto how he thinks this is going to happen. And no one knows what's going to happen here. Either guy's going to happen anyway. But personally, I can't see what's going to happen with this appeal. I don't know what will happen. And on this, I'm pretty sure now a lot of people are just like, right, just let this play out. Because no one knows how this appeal is going to go. And especially Greg Doucette. Because he's the type of person... He's the type of person that everyone on Kick Vic has been talking about, saying what Nick is. He's a grifter. He's this. He's that. He's only doing this because of this. Well, Greg's doing exactly the same. And Greg is doing a podcast, as he says. He started all this, but obviously the podcast actually died down a little bit. And that is mostly because of the Dayton shooter was found following him, and he was also a fan of his podcast. And since then, this has kind of died down, his podcast did. And the interesting thing with that is, if it was, just say the shooter, he was a fan of Vic or whatever, and he was listening to videos, he was commenting about them, then V would have a substantial amount of people going after him. Oh, look, he's done this, and this, oh, this guy was a fan of his, it's, it's all connected, this is what happens. But Greg Doucette has been found out to have many people who have been committing certain things. They follow him. They've liked his tweets. They've even spoken to him. This Dayton shooter even spoke to Greg about gun control. So that just kind of goes on the way that if people want to look into it even further and deeper than anything, and with the conversation regarding appeals and gun laws and restrictions, and I'm pretty sure Greg actually gave him a bit of advice, and if that could go anywhere, then it could show that Greg actually helped that guy. We don't know. Again, that's if you want to do a major stretch and be like, yeah, okay, this has happened. And, well, it's just a sad thing to see, isn't it? It's when someone of that magnitude is followed by someone who has gone and committed that serious crime. He's like, oh, well, he just brushed it off his shoulders if anyone actually looked. He didn't care. He didn't say anything. I think he just kind of went, oh, well, shrugged his shoulders at it and just went on with his normal life. That just goes to show what type of person this man is. He didn't win the election that he went when he ran for office because no one wants him and no one really likes him. And because if people did like him in his actual state of where he is, they would have got him into office. But they never. That just goes to show how many people like him in his state. And it's interesting because I think if he did move to a certain area of the States where all these people mostly are, so at KVR, then he probably would become, he would probably get into office. But because all these people are spread very thinly across America, they're like, yeah, no chance. But I just think it's really funny that he's gone onto his own podcast and he said, this is going to happen. He's done this, he's done that, but I'm not going to give you any explanation because I know I'm right and you're all wrong. At least everyone else gives their explanation to what their opinion is. This guy doesn't. He's just, that's it, that's written in law now, that's going to be the end of it. And to be honest with you, I really cannot wait for the day that Greg Doucette fails in life. If you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe, hit that notification bell for future updates, pass this video far and wide, and I'll see all you lovely people soon.